Mui Ne is a coastal town sitting on the southeastern tip of Vietnam, about 200 kilometers northeast of Saigon. To get here from Con Thơ, I was up before the sun, on a bus by 5 a.m., rolling through the delta in the dark. A couple of hours in Saigon, another bus, and by early afternoon, I was watching the coastline open up outside my window. Somewhere around 8 or 9 hours of travel in total. Not bad. Vietnam has a way of making long journeys feel worth it. I have to be honest with you, this chapter almost didn't happen, at least not the way I planned it. I lost all my Osmo footage from Mui Ne, every single clip gone. And if you've been following this series, you know how much that stings. That camera's been with me through everything, the streets of District 4, the Mekong, Con Thơ. It captured moments I can never recreate. The fishing village, the boats scattered across the water, the color of the ocean against the coastline. So losing a full leg of this trip? Yeah, it hurts. What you're watching right now is my drone, my DJI Mini 3. This is the first time I've been able to fly it on this journey, and honestly, I'm really grateful I had it, because Mui Ne from the air is something else. The Chùa Thiêng Wang temple sitting there just like it's been holding this place together forever. And this, my little homestay, tucked somewhere between all of it. I read reviews for Loi Loi's home, and I noticed that people kept talking about these 3 awesome little dogs who lived here. And for me, I missed my fur balls so much that I had to stay at a place with dogs so I could play with them. But of course, I lost all that footage as well. Before we get into the ride, the sand dunes of Mui Ne are one of those things that stop you mid-thought. You're on the coast of Vietnam, humidity is in the air, ocean is behind you, and somehow in front of you are these massive rolling dunes like they've been dropped into the Sahara. There's nowhere else in this country quite like it. Okay, take a quick picture. I just had my ride, so now Darren's driving around, and it's definitely a lot different being a passenger than it is being a driver. I'm holding on for dear life right now, so I can't imagine how hard he was holding on for dear life when I was driving. As you can see, we got our guide with us, so I only got one side to hold on to. It's kind of weird they come with us, but it's also understandable. But man, if you had your own ATV out here, it'd be fucking fun. Oh my god. Woo. The sand is so cool out here. It's so fine. Very white, like beach sand. The sand is mostly quartz. Holy shit, it's different being a passenger, eh? Yeah. Fuck, man. Oh my god. Woo. There it is. Alright, what's up? This is attempt number 2. Attempt number 2 to record my ride. It's a little bit earlier, so we're gonna get more light. Hopefully we'll get more scenes and be able to get further than yesterday. Yeah, shall we? Let's do this. Hope you can hear me well. So what I want to do is head down to the beach area that we were at last night. Oh, sorry. Head down to the beach area that we were just where we were just today, earlier today for the tour. It's really nice. We'll see how it looks now that it's rained. It's no longer sunny and hot, which is a bit of relief, but there's nothing better than a sunny beach. So, as usual in life, there's always a little bit of give and take. I've also figured out how to use my arm mount properly, so it should be a lot steadier and less not shake, but less of the camera just falling to the side or whatever, like yesterday. So as you can see, I'm wearing a red poncho that I bought at the Vina Mart for 8,000 dong. Just to keep me dry in case it starts pouring. It is raining a little bit. It's not bad, but it is raining. And off we go. I was contemplating wearing this poncho. Now I'm glad I did, because it is wet. Hope it clears up, because I would really like to ride in non-rainy weather for once. Okay, I set my destination to the most southernmost points of this peninsula called Mui Ne. My speed is about 42 kilometers an hour right now. Last night I got up to 65. And with the rain lashing on my face, it stung a little. All right, so I'm back to the place I was yesterday, briefly, and we were also here today earlier to catch a view of this bay with all the fishing boats. So I already showed you this on my other camera. You can see all the fishing boats and all the fucking trash that is on the beach. It's absolutely disgusting. Oh, let me get past this thing. So I'm not quite exactly sure where I am right now. I was following the Google Maps to get to the most southern point on Mui Ne, and I've ended up in a cemetery. The cemetery's got quite the view. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to go deeper on my bike. No problem. I think this is a good spot to stop, actually. Sometimes I wonder if I was a sea creature in a previous life. If I was, I hope I was a dolphin. There's something visceral about the ocean for me that I can't explain. I've spent basically my whole life landlocked. Calgary winters, flat prairies, not a coastline in sight. But when I'm near the water like this, something shifts. It feels like coming home. I love being in the ocean, scuba diving, drifting through the depths, that silence underwater. I could sit on these rocks all day and be completely at peace. But sitting here, staring out at the East Sea, something else was moving through me. A quiet kind of knowing. Tho, Saigon. Those chapters had given me something I needed. I found family. I found pieces of where I came from. But that part of the search, at least for now, felt whole. But this was different. Mui Ne was the turn in the road. From here, I wasn't retracing anymore. I was going somewhere new. Places I had never seen. People I had never met. Parts of a country I left as a child and never got to know. I didn't know what was waiting for me further up this coastline. But sitting here on these rocks, with the ocean wind on my face and nothing but open water in front of me, I was ready to find out. On the next chapter, I head northwest into the mountains to Dalat, a French colonial town tucked in the central highlands, where the air is cool, the coffee is everywhere, and the streets come alive on a Friday night. I visit Sampton Hills, a Vajrayana Buddhist spiritual complex that is home to a Guinness World Record, the world's largest prayer wheel, standing over 37 meters tall, made of bronze and covered in 24-karat gold. And then I lose myself in the French architecture as the night market buzzes around. Chapter 10 is coming.